New Blog 13. It would have been easier and more pleasant to stay out of the hall and find other tasks to fill the afternoon with. But I remembered what Mother Mary had told me the day before, and I would have been letting her and myself and even the master down not to go back in. I felt as though all eyes turned on me, but thankfully most returned to their own discussions. It seemed that these weren't all about me, as my fears were trying to convince me, but rather about the divisions amongst the town's elders. Most were very unhappy about the extreme popularity of Yeshua amongst the people, but they had had no success in trying to woo him to their way of doing things. They would have liked to enhance their status by taking him on as a protege, but they said he kept deliberately going beyond the bounds, even almost insulting them. This is what the Pharisee Simon had reported, and was trying desperately to bring the two sides together. Having me in the group was one aggravation too much, even for him. He expressed his exasperation to Simon Zelotes, who seemed to have some sympathy. Judas came over and asked if there was something else that I could be doing that would be more useful than fueling the problem by insisting on staying in the hall. But then John came to my rescue by calling the room back from these discussions to continue the work. I sat close to him at the front, and he talked of things I found hard to understand. The world was an illusion created out of elements for our senses to enjoy, he said, and that the powers of darkness strove to make us think it all there was. He said that in reality it only existed by the light and the word that dwelt in the heart of everything, which Yeshua would reveal to us as a tiny seed, yet which was also the most powerful force in all of heaven and earth. This mystery we could know. Whatever arguments might have been stored up for this afternoon, John quashed with his complete conviction. He spoke with a strength that came from a living experience that hushed the room into quiet expectancy. At the break, though, it became clear that some element of dissent still hadn't been completely dispelled. I felt eyes looking at me that turned quickly away, and the persisting flavour of gossip in one corner from where the phrase "possessed of spirits" carried to my ears. I had assumed that was known by most people already, but then maybe not as widely as I thought. I shrugged inwardly. Then the word "whore" was whispered just within my listening range. I wanted to run away, but John had come up behind me and placed a hand on my shoulder. "Take no notice," he said. "They don't know what they're saying." "They do," I answered. "I was a priestess of the goddess in Antioch." "I know that," he replied, "but they cannot see what is in your heart. The Master can. He has accepted you more than you know." I looked into John's face and saw that he thought no bad of me. "Thank you," I said. "Thank you for not judging me. But it is not right that I come here and cause discord, is it? Everything that is hidden will be revealed. He has said this. We see it happening. There is no place for hate to be held in the heart, not when we come to the fount of love." I sat back in my place as John took his in the chair again. The hall was quiet, but I thought I felt a tension in the room. John seemed totally unaffected. "We must come to this truth with the heart of a child. This is our Master's requirement. It may sound simple, but to achieve this is not at all easy in my experience. We are full of all the prejudices that the world has fed us with. I still cannot claim such purity, though I have been with the Master for many months." John was tackling the issue head on, and yet I could still feel the unrest in the hall. But it is the grace of God that allows us to approach, not our own efforts. At that moment, the door behind John opened, and Yeshua walked in. Everyone's eyes went to him, and John slid to the floor beside me. Yeshua sat in the master's chair and looked around. I thought he looked severe until his glance rested upon John. Then he smiled, just for the briefest moment, and I was caught into its beauty. It is true what John was saying, he started. This life is such an incredible gift that we have received without having to appreciate the giver. This giver who is presenting us this gift moment by moment with every breath. This is not something that happened somewhere else long ago. This is happening now. We think we know what is meant to happen, know how God's plan should be accomplished. We think we can help him do it right. You think that the master should do this or that, and act this way or that. But God does not need our help. The master does not need the approval or patronage of any man. The Lord provides his needs. Your task is about emptying yourselves of what you have learned, not trying to make the truth fit what you already think it is. You bring so much baggage with you that you have no space for what the master wishes to give. He stopped for a few moments, looking around at us piercingly, before continuing on in the same vein. There is no help you can give the master. He has to help you. If you cannot understand this, there is no point in approaching him. He does not have to try to fathom the secrets of your hearts, for he can see them clearly written in your faces. Nor can you conceal anything from your Father God. He already knows every detail. Therefore, when you come, look not at the others around you, but to your own heart, for therein lies the greatest mystery of all. Nowhere else. Here. Yeshua pressed his open palm to his chest. Are you ready to receive it, and to be received yourself? He searched all the faces in the room. I felt his gaze and everything else disappeared for me. What state do you come in to be received into his kingdom? What state am I in? Bits. But happy to be in bits, I thought. At your feet in bits is where I want to stay. These are the things you should ponder on tonight. For tomorrow there is the chance to take the next step. If you wish, you can come. I shall be here to answer those questions that you have. If you search your heart and find that you are not ready for the next step, then that is fine as well. Far better that you should wait till you are ready than to try to pluck the fruit before it is ripe. For the fruit would indeed be hard to pull from the tree and bitter to the taste. Come then, or wait with my blessings, and the sweetness you shall know will be worth your commitment and your patience.